Friendship is magic, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Humans and animals alike, we need alliance, not only for emotional well-being and a sense of community, we also need it for basic survival. So the friends you choose are directly going to dictate the quality and success of your life. I need to preface though that this video is not a tutorial on how to make fake friends. This is a tutorial on how to have real, meaningful friendships and which ones you are going to have to cut out for your well-being and your success. Hello everybody, my name is Abby and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. As you can see, I'm a very small channel, so I really appreciate your time. Today's video is about unblocking that friendship chakra deep inside of your soul that's making you have resentments and difficulty in finding the friendships of your dreams. And unfortunately, sometimes we have to do a spring cleaning in order to have space for the magic. 9 times out of 10, what will corrupt a friendship is lack of authenticity. Lack of authenticity can manifest in these ways. When you're bad at setting boundaries or too shy, maybe the other person is disrespecting your boundaries time and time again, but you feel stuck. Or a friendship that's overpowering and not letting you have that space, not even giving you a chance to shine. Some people just demand so much attention and energy onto themselves that there's nothing left for you. You care about them and they care about them and nobody cares about you. To me, that's an obvious. You definitely just need to, first of all, I used to burn bridges a lot, but then I learned, why burn a bridge when you can just not cross it anymore? So I encourage you to put distance between you and that friend, because that is not a true friend and they require so much healing and you are not their therapist. One way that many of us struggle with authenticity is when we think we need to be on the same frequency as our other friends all the time. You don't need to be performative. You don't need to prove anything. Be authentically more happy than them sometimes. Be authentically more energetic than them sometimes. Or on the contrary, be authentically more drained. Just be drained. Let them be happy. It's fine. Be happy for them. Be authentically more sad. Just that day, where it makes no logical sense that we're always going to be on the same level all the time. And when we try to force that connection, it sabotages friendships left and right. I just learned this, by the way. I never knew that. I was wondering, why am I so drained after all my friendships? One time I went out with some girl. It's not even her fault, by the way. What happened? I came home after only a couple hours. Imagine, only a few hours we were together, like 3, 4. We were in a sitting location in a restaurant listening to live music. I got home and I fully passed out asleep by my doorway because I was too lazy to take my shoes off. I drained myself so much with all the people pleasing that night that I was left completely empty. Also, I have OCD. I like to brush my teeth. So I had literally not even enough energy to take off my shoes, brush my teeth, go to bed, take off my makeup. I was asleep at the foot of my door, on the floor where it's dirty, by the way, where all the shoes are. It's so important to your survival and well-being to be picky. Maybe something that drastic has never happened to you, but this people-pleasing performative cycle is addicting and it'll pull you deeper and deeper and deeper. So let's talk more about how to get rid of those friendships that drain you and how to change the ones that have the potential to be changed into ones that uplift you. When other people are on a different frequency than you, all they need sometimes is to have a good listener. If they're having a better day than you, then just be a good listener. If you don't have the ability to hold empathy, show some sympathy. Sad, happy. People just want to be acknowledged. And if you're truly drained, you shouldn't even be seeing people if you want a more sustainable friendship. But if it's not working, if you're not able to be on a different level than them and feel okay with it, sometimes it's us, sometimes it's our people pleasing, but a lot of the times other people are friends with people pleasers on purpose because they want to exploit you, exploit your energy. So if that person is not okay with you having a bad day, then they are an energy leech. If they keep trying to pull and pull and pull your validation, attention, compliments, etc., out of you, onto them, they are an energy leech. Even when you try to set the boundaries, tell them you're just tired that day or having a bad day, whatever, and they still are doing that. Energy leech. And you have to get rid of them, seriously. I learned the hard way that burning bridges is not always what you need to do. That's kind of worst case scenario when you cut it off. But a lot of these bridges don't have to be burned at all. You can just stop crossing the damn bridge. Go to another bridge, another friend. Don't go over there where that bridge is, where that friend is. Distance. I learned this the hard way because I couldn't learn my lesson. I didn't have the self-control to stop being friends with them because there were very, very small benefits, and I focused solely on those benefits, even though the risks and the pain outweighed it by a lot. And that was a reflection of my self-esteem. So I urge you to do the same, to weigh the risk and the benefit. I'm in med school, so we also do that with drugs, with like medicine, right? Risk versus benefit. Are you drained after hanging out with this person every single time? And I'm not asking you to make excuses right now like, oh, it's because it was at night. Oh, it was because it was for many hours and we had a sleepover, therefore I'm drained. No. If a friendship is always leaving you drained, that is proof that they are a draining friendship. You should try and set your boundaries if you haven't already. Figure out what your boundaries are. This is when you can write down and journal. How tired are you after hanging out with them compared to other friends? Excuses again. Oh, but that friend only has time for lunches, but this friend has time for longer hangouts. Still, it doesn't matter how many hours you are spending with a person, a draining person will leave you drained. Sometimes we give people too much energy too fast. And what's really important is we learn from that. Damn, I'm hungry. I have friends that I can hang out with for over 24 hours. And they are good friends because they don't leave me drained. I sometimes need moments where I'm not talking. I need moments where I can eat in peace and turn off my brain for a second. A good friend wants you to feel energized and good for tomorrow, for today, forever. A good friend is sustainable. Manifesting these friends starts in the heart and in the mind. You need to write and rewrite a new narrative for yourself. Our life is like one big rough draft, a draft. We just gotta edit and tweak and fix, collect data, edit. Don't be afraid to cross some lines out of your life. Don't be afraid to close a book and put it on your bookshelf. And that book, that friend, right? That friendship you ended, you're going to have to look at them for a while. But as your life continues, you're going to keep on writing more books, more chapters of your life. And as that bookshelf progresses, you'll see that it's so far in the past that only abundance is seen in comparison to the struggles you've been through. I hope that made sense. A good friend will be concerned about you and not wanting you to feel disappointed and drained after every single hangout. You get the idea. Manifesting these friendships begins in the heart and in the mind. And the only way to successfully manifest is to embody, right? I think a lot of us have seen manifestation videos. In order to embody, you need to write a new narrative, rules, and you need to stick to these promises you make for yourself. Because when you listen to yourself, listen to your promises, you build self-trust, new identity. I no longer have friendships that drain me. because sometimes people are draining, but these friendships will understand if you need some space, understand when you need to go do something, understand time gaps between each hangout, and not ridicule you for not giving them energy. When people are energy leeches, they will never understand. It might not even be their fault, but that's not your problem. Stop trying to force alignment and change your lack mindset into a lack of people to an abundance of people, abundance of opportunities. Stop forcing that alignment and let that friendship go and make that space, because then everything else that does align with you will cross your path. And after you set the boundaries, you can see, will it repel or will it stick? By doing this, you are going to gain so much confidence. A lot of us don't have confidence when we start doing this, but it's building confidence to fake it till you make it, to act and embody the confidence that you want to have. Everything is going to work out if you believe in yourself and believe in your self-worth. Sometimes the only way to build community is to start off by being alone with you and your standards. So let's talk about you. Why do you have these friends? Is it for validation? Sometimes we are friends with people because we want validation or attention from them. Maybe when we're together, we want attention from the public or from social media. So, to assess if a friendship is truly worth it, let's say you guys are always going out, always doing Instagram, posting related stuff, always showing off your friendship somehow. Now, you guys should try to hang out without posting it, without telling anyone really, trying to keep it on the more private side. Is it truly worth it? Is it truly worth it? When you don't post them on your stories, and you never do, and keeping it private, is that friendship truly worth it? A lot of us want friendships because we want to look like we have friendships, and that's unhealthy, and we need to heal from that as soon as possible. And a lot of the time, we do that because we seek validation out of the internet because of jealousy. Do you feel jealous of other people? Do you feel jealous of other people's friendships? It's completely normal, but never move out of jealousy. Move, exist, and act out of love. This will change your life. When you see something and you're like, oh, I want that. Good. We are very complex people, so jealousy is quite normal. But don't maneuver out of jealousy. Instead say, yeah, it's good to know that I want that. Because sometimes we have to feel it in order to know. But then when you start acting out of love, people can feel that. Every single friendship I've ever made because I was seeking validation has ended tragically with me losing a part of myself because it's painful to your ego. So this video is about egoless friendships, if you can't already tell. You can call me uptight all you want, but this authenticity has saved me from so much pain and hurt in the future. Authenticity is uncomfortable sometimes. You're gonna have to stomach it. You're gonna have to feel that awkwardness, that setting of a boundary. No one wants to do it. Nobody wants to do it. And we set boundaries all the time, by the way. Like, think about if you've ever had a pet, a dog, a cat. You have to teach them where not to shit and where to shit. And they're not always gonna learn after the first time. But it's that repetitive, no, you have to shit here, don't shit there, don't do that, bad boy, bad girl. When you do that, that is what setting boundaries is. And you have to do that with people too, if you don't want them to shit on your life unknowingly. This authenticity and healing removes countless headaches from the future. So now I'm referring to that 1 second, 5 seconds, 10 minutes of awkwardness, of pain, of telling people what you truly need and deserve and want and seek out of a friendship. And by doing that, they will either align with you or not align with you. Sometimes people fake it, yes. But think about how many things will get weeded out in the beginning, and you're planting a seed. So now this friend, if they're a true friend, they will not want to cross you. And if they're a really fake manipulative friend, they might say, yeah, it's okay. But then after that, it's up to you to take things at face value. Are they actually acting in accordance to your boundaries? I've dated somebody who pretended that my boundaries mattered, but in reality, he could not, for the life of him, respect them. And I truly thought back then, now I don't think this anymore, but back then I really thought, oh, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. He doesn't mean to cross my boundaries. He just does. And why the hell are you parenting him, right? It's terrible. It's terrible, but you live and you learn, and I encourage you to learn fast. Especially if you are a magnetic person, it's going to cost you a lot of pain and awkwardness when you have to turn things down and tell people that you don't give your phone numbers out to strangers, tell people that you're not interested, tell people and potentially hurt their feelings. You're not hurting them. You might be hurting their ego, but their ego is not them. And that is their fault if they have a problem with you setting a boundary. All in all, see what authenticity does to the friendship. Always see. Truth reminds me of a balloon, okay? Imagine you collect more data, more truth, more reasons why you might be resenting a person, right? It's getting into this balloon. You're trying to push it underwater, hiding it. But one day it's going to explode. It's going to slip up and all the air is going to come out. By being honest in the moment, it's like releasing small earthquakes. They're uncomfortable, they're scary. The ground is not stable beneath my feet. Something that I'm not used to is happening. But would you rather have a bunch of small earthquakes or one big earthquake? By the way, big earthquakes are deadly, right? It can be the same thing. It could be detrimental to your friendship. So don't be afraid to show what the truth does to a friendship. Show the truth. It's data. It's research. Losing a friendship is not failure. I hate the word failure. Nothing is a failure. We're learning lessons. It's data, statistics, research. Don't you worry, you're on the right path. If you want to believe it's failure, you're just self-pitying. But in reality, it's success. It's success because here you are moving forward and you're becoming stronger. Little bits of pain create so much strength. Humans can overcome anything, and it is so important to remember that. We adapt so well. That is literally why we have overpopulated the planet. But that's for another video, and that's another topic altogether. Is loneliness making you sabotage your well-being? Like I said before, seeking community and connection is completely normal. But sometimes this loneliness can make us overcompensate. Are you overcompensating? Are you giving too much of yourself? That literally is most of my life in a nutshell. When you don't have the willpower or the self-respect or whatever it might be, but if you don't have that mastery of the self to limit how much of yourself you're giving to other people, that will sabotage a friendship. You cannot pour from an empty glass, as they say. And it is absolutely true. I love that analogy so much. Sometimes I see myself pouring and even dumping my energy when in reality we need to be overflowing. Because the overflowing can be infinite and sustainable. And by prioritizing yourself first, you have so much more generosity to give to the world in the big picture. Always check yourself. And also ask for advice. That's one side of the spectrum. Obviously, there's the selfish side of the spectrum. If you are a naturally selfish person, you seriously need to go to therapy. If you feel resentful when you give to others, I'm not even saying that in a mean way. I'm just saying like you have a lot of healing to do. All of us have to heal something. But if you are a naturally selfish person, and a narcissist, I'm sorry, I don't think a lot of this video is going to apply to you. But if you are able to recognize that you're a narcissist, then maybe you aren't. Maybe you actually are not, and you are on the correct path. So a lot of the time, overcompensating will sabotage a friendship, but what if it's actually their fault? How good is your friend that's draining you at respecting your boundaries? If they need someone to party with, they need someone to support them in the ways that you do, they need it. They need it. And they're a leech. If they need it and you keep giving it to them because you don't know what else to do, that is disrespectful to yourself. I'm very sorry to break it to you. I've been there. It happens. And none of us are perfect. Sometimes we take steps back and then we take steps forward, right? These leeches need someone to leech off of. So when you take yourself out of the equation, you will be very surprised to see how quickly they will replace you. Very, very surprised. You think you're so special. You think your care is needed, and we love feeling needed, right? But watch how quickly you'll get replaced. Sometimes those replacements aren't as good of friends as you are, but they'll still replace you because they need that. They need someone to step on, to suck blood out of, right? Energy vampires, they need that shit. And that's not going to be you anymore. Now you are going to raise your standards and move on. I did that, and it was so, so painful. But ending a friendship is painful for a short period of time, but then the peace that you buy yourself after, with that effort, you buy yourself peace. And that peace is beautiful. I want you to see it. I want you to see what's on the other side. What I find very interesting is usually people don't actually mean to hurt you. We all kind of might notice this. People do not mean to hurt you. Sometimes they're so invested in their own lives that they don't mean it. But that doesn't mean they're not careless. That doesn't mean they're not careless. I am not going to allow a 4-year-old to carry my most expensive, let's say, crystal glass of my life energy filling that glass. I'm not going to let a 4-year-old carry it around because then he could spill it, drop it, break it, right? Prevention is the best cure. Unfortunately, a lot of people do not mature enough past this 4-year-old mentality of carelessness. Maybe it's an accident. But don't you think that people should be as caring and giving and self-aware as you are? You deserve that. You absolutely deserve that. And while it is not their fault, it is not your job to parent them. It is not your job to parent them. That is their problem. You can tell them the truth. You can say, I'm sorry, I am too sensitive of a person to be around a careless person like you in a nicer way. But humans are so much more fragile than we like to admit. By experiencing presence, we assume immortality. It's a very common human trait. We think we're immortal. That's why people, get into trouble and people lose their lives from accidents that were preventable, right? We like to believe we're immortal. But in reality, we are fragile and little things add up. Humans are literally sponges. I'm sorry if that's creeping you out, but think about it for a second. Humans are literally sponges. Our mind is a sponge. Your diet is not just what you eat. It's what you consume in your media, in your friendships, in your day-to-day life. That's why a lot of people will work really hard to move out, save up money to move out of their toxic household situations, maybe level up or even level down sometimes, or move away from a job that's affecting their well-being. Because humans are sponges and we are so much more impressionable than we like to admit. And once we realize that, your life is going to change. All of our lives change when we decide to be gentle with ourselves. We don't need to be going hardcore all the time. Be gentle. Move on from these careless people that don't know how to take care of you. And everything is going to be okay. We all fuck up sometimes, and it is completely normal. Sometimes we fuck up so bad that the friendship is ruined, and the person is just not going to forgive you. Or maybe you can't forgive them for what they've done. I have this thing that I tell myself in my old friendships. I go to a university and I see old friends of mine all the time that I had to cut it off with. And what I tell myself is, I hope they're growing and I hope they're doing well. And maybe they've changed, but I don't want to see it. I don't want to know it. That is up to them. That is not my problem. Their life is in their hands, So yeah, I always like to say that to my other friends. If they've changed, that's great, but I don't need to know about it. Sometimes when it's our fault, we don't want to accept that it's our fault. But in reality, if we just take the L, grow up, move forward. I don't like to say move on because I think it's a little harsh. I like move forward because we learn stuff as we go. Move forward, grow, learn fast, and reinvent ourselves. And then we are setting ourselves up for success in the future. And you don't have to hate people that you broke off connections with. You can just let them go. Let them go. Let them go. Speaking of reinventing yourself, let's talk about inventing the perfect friendship. And by perfect, I don't mean there's a perfect person out there. None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. But what I do mean is to invite in real, meaningful friendships that don't lose your hope in humanity. If anything, they build your hope in humanity. Making friends takes a lot of trial and error. I like to put friends into an acquaintance sort of area, and then we can see if we get a little closer. And usually if we click, we can keep on hanging out and see where things go, and we can learn more about each other. But then I also have some acquaintances, at university. Maybe we have some different mentalities, mindsets, and these people, it's okay, we don't ever have to get closer. I can just see them in public and treat them like a friend. But in reality, they should be mature enough to know that if we're not hanging out outside of school, then we're not actually that close, and it's okay. I had to learn my lesson so many times about distancing myself from other people. It's very, very useful because you do not need to burn bridges all the time. Like I said, go to another bridge, right? Or hang out in the grassy, green, no bridge area all alone and be your own friend. Something that me and all of my best friends have in common is that we have the ability to be independent and be our own friend and show self-love to ourselves, because by pouring into our cups, the overflowing love can go to each other. And that is the key to a healthy connection with, honestly, any person in the whole world. Of course, there's emergency situations where you do need to actually put the other person before you, but that should be rare. If someone's always getting into trouble, I'm sorry to break it to you, but you might have a problematic friend. Some time ago, I spoke to my therapist and she helped me understand something so crazy. So many people know what they're looking for in a relationship. Loyalty, generosity, XYZ, but nobody knows what they're looking for in a friendship. So we need to be super, super clear with ourselves with what we're tolerating and not tolerating. When you have the time, I really encourage you to write in a journal or on a piece of paper red flags and green flags in a friendship. A lot of us think about this, like I said, for relationships, but for friendships, it's equally, if not more important. I did this and that actually changed everything for me. What I was lacking was the taking initiative on my acquaintances and creating acquaintances and friends. You do need to start asking people out on friend dates. Unfortunately, with this internet day and age, a lot of us are introverts, and it's up to you to take that first step. It's like the bystander effect, No one's going to take that first initiative because everyone thinks someone else is going to do it. How about you be that person and not be a bystander anymore, hoping to be chosen by somebody? Go and choose your friends. You can be, by the way, as specific as you want. Just know that the more specific you are, the smaller your circle might become, but that's okay. Just know what you're signing up for, I guess. That's all. Another extremely, extremely, extremely important thing is you need to have space in your life for these friendships to blossom and grow and take time, slowness, time to cultivate. Because if you don't have space to make new friendships that will actually uplift you, because that time is all taken up with your beliefs that work is more important, beliefs that your other friendships that you've known for longer need to be prioritized, even though they bring you down. You need to change this mindset and allow space into your life for the beautiful things to blossom. If you can find any inkling or drop of hope in your mind and in your heart, then you're on the right track and everything is going to be okay. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about my friendships. Most of them are not in this country that I'm living in right now. I am studying abroad, so a lot of my friends are in my hometown and in my home state in the United States. But I want to talk about what qualities of a friendship I adore and sort of like examples of standards for you, because you might like these. I personally love them a lot. First of all, I need a friendship that's safe to grow in. Someone who's not going to point fingers at me and say, I told you so. I told you so. Someone who will say, it's okay to make mistakes. I'm very happy you know how to take accountability, and I respect you more. I need somebody who can listen, who can talk when I don't have the words anymore. But most of all, the best friendships are made when you find people who inspire you. And when you tell them that they inspire you, you let them know that they have a positive impact on your life. So here's some qualities of my friends. I have a friend who inspires me to have higher standards for myself in my dating life. And that feels really, really good to see someone embodying those rules and seeing it work out for her. I love that. That's great. I have another friend who teaches me and inspires me how to romanticize life and to smell the flowers and not rush everywhere all the time, to take things a little slower. And I have another friend who inspires me to take care of my health and to eat well. And she also is someone that we love to just reflect and psychoanalyze and gossip sometimes. You know, good gossip, not bad gossip, because there's a difference. In order to have the ability to be inspired by another person, you have to put your ego to the side. You have to be able to learn from people, whether they're older, younger than you, different. These friends are going to uplift you and you're going to uplift them. And while jealousy is normal, you guys don't maneuver out of jealousy. You maneuver out of love. That is what makes a friendship beautiful. Another thing extremely important in all of my friendships, and this is another huge deciding factor between an acquaintance and a friend, is how independent they are. Everybody is going to overstimulate us eventually. You need alone time. If you have a clingy friend, I'm sorry, it's not going to work unless they can learn to not be clingy anymore. Also, friends who are spontaneous and flexible. They can also make sacrifices sometimes. Okay, today we won't do the thing that I want to do. We can do the thing you want to do in our hangout. We don't have to go to this location. We can go to the location you recommended and let's see. Really healthy friendships have lots of open-mindedness and lots of love. Action out of love, not out of lack. And abundance and helping each other. I encourage you to look for opportunities to show a stranger your kindness, to show an acquaintance your kindness. Take them on a friend date. Get to know people better, little by little. And don't love bomb. You can compliment, but don't love bomb. Love bombing comes off as desperate, and real friendships grow through slowness. Think of it like a meditative state of mind. And it's totally normal to feel nervous when you're on a first few dates, friend hangouts. It's totally normal. When I'm nervous, I talk a lot. I go, blah, 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 and there's hardly any silence. But what really, really makes a friendship special also is when you can see each other's intentions and you're not hurting one another. And when you can see that this person has good intentions, it'll be okay when they make mistakes sometimes. So this week, I encourage you to look for these opportunities, look for these doors and open them and walk right through them and show a stranger your kindness, show an acquaintance the meaning of friendship. Go do something fun. You're not stuck with anybody as long as you keep on working on your boundaries, and you can have friendships that uplift you, energize you, charge your batteries, because we are here to learn and grow and make mistakes and to practice forgiveness. And mistakes are completely normal. Trial and error is completely normal. It's very important not to be hard on yourself because you need these mistakes to succeed. So go out there, show people the love you have in your heart. Show people what it means to enjoy and have a good day together because community is important and these friends can uplift you. And sometimes we have good times with people that don't stay in our lives forever. So learn fast, stay authentic, and stay true. Thank you so much for watching this video. Love you. Bye.